Hey guys, just jumping right into it. I'm making some open face Philly cheesesteak melts for you today. Here I'm just chopping up my onion. Um, Nothing special about this. I like for my vegetables to be long though. I'm not going to be like literally chopping them. I'm just making them long, and I like to take the back of the knife to separate it when they're stuck together like that. Getting that together. Next, I'm moving to my green bell pepper. Just basically getting that ready. My boyfriend and I only get onion and bell pepper on our Philly cheesesteak, so it's fairly easy for us to make. We don't do mushroom or anything like that. So, and I'm just showing you how I like to chop up my bell pepper. I cut it in 4 sections, and I cut off some of the excess pieces. And then I smash it down just to make it a little bit easier to cut. And I'm cutting it sideways like that, just so they can be long enough but not too long. And the extra pieces on the end that are kind of thick, sometimes I include them, sometimes I don't. But I do like bell pepper. I like vegetables in general, so it doesn't really bother me. So those are my vegetables all together. I have my onion and my bell pepper, everything ready. Next, I'm moving to my beef Angus top sirloin, using some cooking scissors or some kitchen scissors rather to cut those in slices, and just, cutting those in slices to get ready to cook. And I don't know how many pieces I did. I need to start measuring stuff, I know. So I'm gonna start to season that with some Himalayan pink salt, some ground black pepper, and y'all know I don't measure, some onion powder. I don't measure my seasonings. I just kind of throw them on there. Garlic powder, and some extra spicy Miss Dash seasoning, because we like spice on everything, of course. I just take a spoon to help to get the seasoning worked into the meat. As you can see, I take the back of the spoon and kind of like push the seasoning down in there. I'm using some Smart Balance butter, put it all around the pan. What I'm about to do is basically saute my vegetables. I get them a little bit caramelized because I do like for them to be a little bit crunchy. Not to mention this has to go in the oven as well, so they also cook in there, but I like for them to be a little bit crunchy, but also caramelized, somewhere in the middle. And that's just some ground black pepper. I sprinkled it on there before I showed you. And I like to put ground black pepper on my vegetables because I don't really know, but I like to do that. They already have like their own natural salt flavor. Look at those vegetables. Oh, they look so good. Natural salt flavor. So I just kind of add the black pepper. So that's about, I want to say 3 tablespoons, I guess, of that Smart Balance. I always cook my steak in butter. And I'm adding those pieces. I put it on about 250. They're thick pieces. I want them to be tender. So I cook them on a lower temperature and just kind of keep a close eye on them. Yeah, so I'm just, flipping that and moving that and flipping it over to the other side. Letting it cook evenly on both sides. And now I'm taking that out, and look at that seasoning. Woo, just look at that seasoning popping up out that meat like that. Come on, pop out, pop out. Don't play. Yes, for the steam. All right, so my little trick here is I like to use forks, and I take and shred my meat. It can be a little bit cringy when the forks are hitting each other, so if that bothers you, just use your fingers. Just make sure your hands clean. And that's my shredded steak. All right, so now I've got it back into my little griddle oven thing. Well, not oven, but you know what I'm talking about. I'm gonna put my vegetables on top of that and get it all mixed up. I'm taking some smoked flavored provolone cheese. Gonna put 6 slices total on that, and you'll see why I did it the way that I did it. I'm making 2 melts, so it's just easier for me to do it this way because the cheese is going to melt. And you're going to see what I'm talking about. You're going to see. Put that top on. I got this little griddle thing on warm. Just going to let that cheese get warm. Now we're moving on to this Simple Truth Organic roasted garlic artisan bread. Let me tell you, this bread was so good. It's the first time I ever tried this bread. This was some good bread. Okay. You'll see the air bubbles on the inside of the bread. I'm telling you, it was so soft. I got it from Kroger out of the bakery section. Oh, it was so good. Look at those air bubbles. And you can see the garlic that's in there. It was, man, I cannot stress enough how good it was. So right now I'm just adding a little bit of mayo. I actually got this from Miriam on her It's So Good YouTube. And I'll leave the link below of the recipe that inspired me to make this. But she puts mayo on her bread prior to putting her other ingredients on before she puts it in the oven. Something to do with the moisture. Let me tell you. It works. Like, oh, I cannot stress. You know, my words got messed up because I saw that, what I just saw. Now, tell me that didn't look delicious. Tell me that didn't look delicious. Okay, so I'm adding some more of that provolone cheese in there. And on there, rather. And just going to throw a little piece to my dog because he's always down my back. This is a little bit of sharp cheddar I'm just going to take also and add. Oh, yes. All right, so now I'm moving my meats and everything to the bread, and see how easy it was for me to just kind of move that over. Like some meat fell off, of course, and I just added it back to there, but I was making 2 sandwiches, so it was just easier because the cheese melted everything together. Oh, man. So good, okay? I'm just adding the rest of that little meat on there. And I'm going to add a little bit more sharp white cheddar to the top, being that a good bit of the meat fell from the bottom. And I didn't want the meat to get too cooked in the oven. So that cheese is going to help to make sure that everything is basically cooked in together and nothing is pretty much overcooked. Except I don't care about my cheese being overcooked, honestly. I'm going to add some parsley to the top of that just for looks. Make it look all official and shit. You know what I'm talking about. Don't play. And I also added some ground black pepper to the top as well. Now this is what it looks like prior to me putting it in the oven on 375 for 15 minutes. And voila, honey. Look at that. Fresh out the oven, 15 minutes. Woo! Had to get another close-up for the girls, okay? Had to get a close-up for the girls. And we paired it with some sour cream and onion chips because we country. Thanks so much for watching.